No. But we decree and we believe that it can still happen. I said to each one, I say, nobody gets to say stop. I say, you can talk by yourself all you want to. You can plan and calculate by yourself all you want to. Just don't share with me. Because at that time, I shifted into the area of providential deposit. And God told me it was coming. I didn't know where it was coming from. I didn't have to see where it was coming from. But it showed up in one building for it granted. Ain't nobody there but just us, members, $80,000. And then I went to the folk, I said, we got $80,000. You got to lose $10,000. You got to lose $10,000. The two people say, we don't want to do that. I say, you going to lose 10, you going to lose 10. I'm not asking you, I'm in the decreeing. I'm an apostle of God, and he said I can speak what I want, I can speak what I want. Then the third time I said, okay, we'll take it anyway. I said that to say to you, you need to know an apostle gets to speak it down. Not negotiate it done. Not everybody starts a church as an apostle. Just because you start a church, that doesn't mean you're apostle. You're doing the work of an apostle. But you don't have the gifting of an apostle. We call them all apostles because it's a title. But there's a difference in the gifting. And you'll know an apostle when you start seeing manifestations from the ministry. When you start to see things that couldn't happen except it be a providential deposit. When you see stuff happen, you say, no way in the world that'll happen if you calculate it. That's when you know apostle. So here it is. Go back to the first verse there. You did it. It said, and God has said, watch this. It said, and God has said, God being that establishes the authority. Somebody say authority. Authority. God give us fist and we're going to punch their head. You have authority. That's what God is. You've been authorized. You don't have to worry about it. There is an authority there. Because God says so. You heal them, not because you feel like it, but because God says so. I decreed it over your life. Heal. God says so. God says so. I ain't got time to fool around no more. I have the authority of the whole heaven back and say, it's done. It's saying. So said. And God said, who said? God. Therefore, the authority is there. Has said some in the church. In the church. Let me show the church really is. You miss it by the church because everybody's defined in so many ways. It's good. And they're all helpful. But you miss the part of the providential deposit in the definition. When you see church everywhere, that means the anointing falls. That is, the church has the anointing. It carries the authority of the anointing. If you go by and be in the world, the anointing, you are. The church carries that everywhere it's established. The anointing shows up everywhere the church. Hallelujah. So y'all gonna get it every now and then. When y'all saved folk see each other in the supermarket, don't just be saying hello. Join hands and say, prices come down before I get to the cash register. Come the morning part of the church. I like that. Don't think it. Don't ask my wife, she's all crazy. I've done it. Huh? Yeah. Don't make me testify about it. You got to call the anointing fathers of church. I got the first. So we got one, we got two, we all make a fist and we're going to punch the devil down. So you got the authority. You have the anointing. Said in the church, first apostle, second prophet, third the teachers, and after that miracles and gifts of the healing. Now, you want to differentiate sometimes. I'm not going to get in this debate over Philippians 4. If some people, well, I see these, but I don't see these. Don't worry about that. What you see in here is the miraculous gifts. Over there is defining what the office of the miraculous gifts are. Is that straightforward? Yeah. You see the miraculous gifts. Over there defining the offices of the miraculous gifts. That's it. That's the simple word for it. But watch this. It says secondly and thirdly, and then gifts of healing. I said you have the what? You have the authority. You got to be just exactly where I'm. What did I say first? You say what? Authority. Then the second I got is what? The anointing. What am I now? Oh, okay. Then you have the assignment. These are the assignments for the gifting that God has given. And you need to know these assignments. Here you want to try to do math and you're supposed to be working on geography. All right. what's happened to us. You trying to work something you're not assigned to do. That's not your assignment. Some of you in church need to learn to turn down some stuff, but that ain't your assignment. You didn't know that's not going to work for you. You can't punch the devil's assignment, ain't yours. Listen, be satisfied that you got 2 lead singers. Everybody can't lead a song. Everybody might have gifted it, me and Terry Pruitt and Lavelle. These 2 out of 3. Let y'all pick them. It's not your assignment. Be okay with that. My son plays drums for us. After we lost money on trombone, at least, right? We on trombone. Everybody with me, well, y'all let me know. I'll sell it real cheap. I'm tired of keeping around. I've been around 20 years. One never played. Was not his assignment. So you got the assignment. Then the next thing, where am I going to keep reading?
The gifts of healing.
Keep on, next one. The next person. 29.
Are all apostles?
No.
Are all prophets?
No.
Are all teachers?
No.
Are all workers of miracles?
No.
Have all the gifts of healing?
No, here's that. So you have what? Authority. You have the, what am I? Authorization. Stay with me, man. What I got now? Assignment. Read, say that out loud, man. I need you, baby. All right, I got authority. Okay, somebody say it because I can't get 2 minutes. What I got?
Anointing.
Authority. Anointing. Assignment. All right, now you have the alignment. All right, now you have a what? Alignment. You can have an assignment, but you're not aligned. My son, he plays drum, but he only plays for dad. That's it. That's where he is, and he's comfortable with that. He doesn't care if he ever plays for anybody else. Some days he don't care if he plays for me too, but that's a different story. But you've got to have the alignment. And then that helps to enforce your assignment. If your alignment is not enforcing your assignment, then you missed it. You get it? Now, Mr. McDaniel found me a chair today, and he was asking me, I got a bad knee. He take care of everything I need in the world, and he asked me, do I need a chair? I looked at him, I said, do I? I got a bad knee, so I've been hopping all morning. You brought me one this morning. I got to eat about, but the point is, it's his alignment with the assignment that makes it happen, not mine, even if it is for me. That's what we miss. Thank you. Let me pick on you, brother. We miss that. That the alignment to the assignment doesn't always directly benefit you. That's why many people are serving the church benefit. That's right. Because they can't see the benefit back to them.
Wow, that's good.
And pastors are pulling the last hair they got, trying to figure out how to do that to help them feel good about what they're doing. So they'll stay in there. And realize it's not going to do any good. They have to step into providential deposit. You have to set your ministry, as this couple has done, for providential deposits, not for activities, not for stuff. Now, no, I'm good on activities. I'll play with the kids as much as anybody. I'll travel to Cedar Point as much as anybody. Don't get me started. I'll even go on that basketball court. I can't shoot, but I'll go on the court. I have a pair of LeBron James sneakers, size 12. Won 1 game. I look good. I was doing it too. Couldn't play no, but I was out on that court carrying. You should talk about that. I was out there running around there with the LeBron James like 40 shoes, looking good. They pass the ball, I pass it right back. Run around that court. They pass the ball again. I go. Because right, you laugh, but I'm not aligned for that. And I have to be okay that I'm not aligned for that. What I say now? Tell me again what I said. Everybody say it again. Authority, anointing, assignment, alignment. All right, I got one more thing. You just got to come up here. What read?
But covet earnestly
there it is, yeah.
the best gifts, And yet show I unto you a more excellent way.
Yet comes the other yet I show you a what? More excellent way. In other words, the last one that punched the devil, everybody get ready to punch him out, is authentication. Meaning that you already passed the code, you know how to get in the access code to get revelation. You need to have the access code to get revelation, and that's what punches the devil out. That's what providential deposits will give you. That's what this couple has done here in this city. You got a prophet sitting there, you got an apostle sitting there, and they're bringing about the authority of God. They're working under the anointing. They have the assignment, the alignment, and they have been authenticated by the Holy Ghost. They are exactly who they are, and that's why we celebrate them. I'm about to say it about that, man. You think I said it about that part? I think I should sit out. Because that's what it's about. If you want to see your church flourish, you got to accept the fact that it requires providential deposits to get you there. You can't plan your way that well. You can't invite enough people over to fellowship with you and work that well. But a divine deposit, a providential deposit from God, will simply give it to you. It will give it to you. And you have to believe that. You have to believe that God will set you up for that. John Porter asked me to retire. I said no. They asked me the second time. I said, okay, can I take my lunch with me? I got my lunch left with me. 5 days later, got a call from Taiwan. Said we put you on a plane and then don't fly one way. They say you don't. They say, can you travel? I say, what time? God will set it up for you. I'm retired again. A few years back in my retirement, when I high tax years, the awesome man, they don't like us entrepreneurs, man. They had one of the highest tax years I ever had in my life. I said, woo! Get a car from Chicago and say, we need to come over here. I said, well, I can't come every day. We said, when you come, I can come Wednesday, I can come Thursday, Friday, and maybe even Saturday. They say, well, we put you on a plane Thursday morning or Wednesday night. You fly back Friday, each back, we fly you back out Monday morning, Friday. And as a matter of fact, I read some Oscar Kitten folk in the airport, and they told them, and nobody knew I'm doing it. But God, I'm just using those examples to say to you, because you're not ministering to church, but you have a life to live. And all you thought about is God gonna bless me in my church, but He gonna bless you in your life. That's why I'm using an example. I'm not trying to brag about me. I ain't got nothing to brag about. Yeah. What's your life doing? What's your career? He'll bless you in those, but it's still aligned with the providence of the Father. They're connected. We have taken our regular lives completely away from God. See there. He ain't got a problem with you being a star basketball player. Dunk the ball if you can. He will allow your beauty shot. He will allow it for you. But we forgot about that. We will think of God on Sunday morning when we wake up. Tuesday, Wednesday night when we go to church. But I believe for the divine deposit. The other day, I stepped into a cab the other day, and she was sitting up front, and someone in the back said, he looked like he talking to your wife. I said, she a good looking woman, ain't you? Then they found out later that she ain't young and she looks, but praise the Lord. Why? She got divine favor on her life. She will all look pretty, she will all look young. That's high need. What about somebody age and all that? When there's a divine deposit in your life, it's your total life. What do you want? That's right. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? That's right. God, people sitting around here like they're beggars. God blessed me with this.
That's right.
If Erica me, because I'm known to do it, she knows I do it. I walk in the room and I say, let's identify the small people get over because it's going to be me when we talk about this. It can be you that talk about that. I already know. You Erica, no I'm not. God bless me with that.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
If it sounds arrogant, it's going to have to sound arrogant. Fruit, no, I like fruit. Derek, do I like that? I'm not trying to be arrogant. That's why I said the more replay than better. She's good at talking. She's not quite as dramatic as LaBelle, but that's all right. What do you want?
What do you want?
Stop acting like you're a stepchild of God. I refuse to live like that. I refuse to live like I can't have what I can't be. He had providence of deposits. And he sent these officers, they let me have them. And I'm not going to let God waste his time. I'm going to let God say, why did you just step in? She knows the truth. I just tell her that. I said, I'm sitting in the cleaners. I wasn't joking. I was serious. Why don't you know? Because I knew they had a special gift for deliverance. Some of us can get people delivered. We get people delivered. Everybody follow what I just said? Some of us can get people delivered. Prophets I have gotten people delivered. They don't get them delivered. They just deliver. There's a difference. For some of us, our gift has allowed us to work them to a position to receive their deliverance. They have a gift where they just say it is done. The only way they talk for only 2 minutes, they have the person understand it's done. They have that gift. Anybody in town knows that. You ain't been in town if you don't know that. That if they say they deliver, I come over. When they start trying to deliver, I sit down. But there are other gifts. And you need to be okay with it. Somebody say, I'm okay with it. Tom at Faith Ministry basically has 2 jobs. Tom King, that's Tom Sam, that's ours. He has 2 jobs. He comes on the same day once a year. He's going to pick up the evangelist and he's going to take it home for your time. The only time he done it, he had to be out of town. He grandpa too, so I don't tell him now. But anyway, he's all right with it. He knows it's going to happen. That's it. He ain't trying to ask, be this, be that. He all right. He know what he going to do. Come that time of year, time to go get him, time to take him back. That's it. And we okay with that. You have members who, that's one thing they do. Let them do that. Be okay with it. Many of you know Darren, he's kind of my ace armor bearer other than Mr. McDaniel. We don't know Mr. McDaniel, he just everything. He just do what he do. He just does. But Darren is my armor bearer. Now Darren will tell you flat out though. He tell me what he gonna do and tell me what he ain't. You don't see it tonight? Darren told me when we took the road. I don't do no evil service. But you catch him Sunday morning, you can't beat him. You can't beat him. He said he's the best Sunday morning man there. But he told me flat out. Didn't tell me. He said, I will, but I don't do evil service. So what you gonna do then? I gotta get my nap. But he's straight with me. He knows his gifted, he knows his position, he knows what he does, and he wants to be good at it. And so I don't force him outside of where he is. He's in the health ministry. Prophet Love, I'll stop you. Prophet, go ahead. because of physical pain. People have forgotten about deliverance. Some things won't come off except it's delivered off. People like being invited off of something. You guys just snatch it. That's a gap between the two of you that you never will sight of. It's not the one, it's not the other. It's the two. Y'all snatch it off of people. Y'all don't let it stay. The rest of us pray about it. Well, baby, let me go pray about it. Y'all don't care. Y'all just start snatching it off. Don't y'all really say that?
And that's what the Lord is saying. The Lord is calling you guys to the 36ers. This is your 36th year. This is you, the 36ers. What that mean? That mean that 36 to get to this 2 times 18. Double. Life. Living. Togetherness. Side by side. What you think, she gonna think. And this next year, the 36ers. So Lord, the 36ers, yeah, 2 times 18. He's gonna bring a life to both of you. Focus. Side by side. You can't give up, he can't give up. You can't stop, he can't stop. The dreams and vision he said that you're having, he said write them down because I'm getting ready now to move and shift you. Because your focus is going to be on those dreams and vision that he set into place. Write them down. Write them down. Because there's some dreams and visions you guys got that the Lord said, write them down and I'm getting ready to bring them forth. Side by side. Togetherness. Togetherness. You guys are going to be thinking so much of life. What you going to dream, you're going to be already sowing in a vision. And what you going to sow in the vision, you already saw it in the dream.
Come on.
And the Lord said he's going to bring it to pass. Because now he's getting ready to move mighty between the two. And you're going to do it together, he said.
Providence is positive.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because of the deposit over the years that he had already deposited in you, the Lord said, now I'm finna double it. I'm finna double it. And simple attraction, stay close.
Hey.
Stay close. When it looked like it's, look, oh, Pastor, we can't do that. We can't. Stay close. God is going to move you in a place that you've never seen before. Of greatness, he said. I told you last year about the level that he's going to move you. So you're going to a higher level where it's getting ready to come to pass. I can see this year that you already know these steps. God said, write them visions and dreams down.
Yes, yes.
Because focus, and your focus that he's getting ready to put in you guys' life, and here at the Terminal Attraction, the pots are getting ready to fall. Amen.
Come on, give God some praise for that. Hallelujah.
We certainly receive these words, man of God, woman of God. We thank God for your expressions of love and appreciation and honoring the gifts. Honoring the gifts. Authority, anointing, assignment. He said alignment enforces that assignment. And he talked about the access code. Hallelujah. And what I heard through all that is we're going to have to stay connected. That's what you're saying for providential deposit. It only happens to those who are connected. And the devil always want to come with a disconnect.
Yes, he does.
I'm offended. I'm hurt. He said, she said.
Yes.
Gossip here, scuttlebutt but there. But the truth is that the Lord is saying we must stay connected. And then the woman of God said to center of attraction, stay with the vision and the dream. Because something great is about to happen. Hallelujah. That was confirmation because God has been telling me that about my greatness and our greatness. Amen. He said this is the season for greatness, James. So I told somebody the other day, my name has changed. I'm called James the Great. Amen. Amen. I'm believing according to what Daniel said in 10, I believe, somewhere around there, chapter 10, that those who know their God shall be great and shall do great exploits in the Lord. And so I believe that, amen. Come on, give the man of God a hand. Thank you. Make sure that your life is right with God. You don't know the Lord Jesus in the pardon of your sin, that you would now surrender all to Him and align your life with Him so that God can deposit Jesus and God can deposit heaven on your earth today. In Jesus' name. Hallelujah. We thank God for all that's been rendered today. We love y'all, all of you, and we're going to celebrate the man of God. You know how we do it here. And what is our protocol? Get ready with your offering for the man of God. You write out a check, write it out to Center of Attraction. And all that you give today, as we start this offering with $100 today. Amen. Melissa, you can get the basket there. Praise the Lord. We want to get ready to give to the man of God. We challenge you to give your best tonight. I know you've been giving and giving. Amen. Keep the flow going. Hallelujah. This is the last of the offering today. God loves a cheerful giver. The Bible says in Luke 6:38, give, and it shall be given. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Men would give into our bosom. So, you're going to give cheerfully tonight. You're going to give your best tonight. And the Lord will deposit into your life as you deposit in the man of God. Hallelujah. You need an envelope? Yeah, just raise your hand. Joshua will provide an envelope for you. Once you have what you are going to give, come now and give. Come now and give.
Every word of worship, one accord.
Come on up.
Every praise is to our God. Sing hallelujah to our God. Glory hallelujah to our God.
God bless you.
Every praise is to our God. Every praise is to our God.
God bless you.
Every word of worship,
Yes, yes, yes.
every praise is to our God.
Okay, all hearts and minds clear. All right. Very good. God bless you. What a day today. Stretch your hand this way. Father, we thank you for those who have given them. We give back to them a hundredfold return. Make that deposit. Make whatever has been said today, that it come to pass, Lord God. Come to pass, come to pass. Even now we declare it in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. We're going to now have the last words before we dismiss the day.
When Pastor Rivers was saying about deliverance, looking for Prophetess Mary, but we were leaving the church one Wednesday night. It was real late, and the girl ran up with the guy and said, "Did Papa loan us something?" I said, "Was you looking for Prophetess Naomi?" She said, "Yeah, God. They said, we're here to get delivered. They said, you can't these demons out of me." I looked, and Mary Jane looked. I didn't know what was going on. She ran on me so quick. I said, "Well, okay." So I began to pray for her. Those demons started to manifest, and they were coming out. I said, "Okay." Took a while. Took her to deliverance. And so then they left. And the boy that was with her, I had taught him in the 8th grade at Weber. So the Lord just brought this young man back around. And so then when Pastor got there Sunday, I said, she came. I said, "Go have my husband pray for you." And as soon as she got in the presence, the rest of them came out, and she hit the floor. So it took both of us to get that deliverance. See, I did my part, but he had a part to do too. So that was confirmation.
Yes.
Deliverance is the children's bread. And I taught healing about a couple of weeks ago, and I told the people, I said, now, I'm going to teach you how to cast out devils. I'm going to get a handout, we're going to do it. So we're going to have a team to cast out devils. We're going to have healing teams. We're not going to sit here and not be the church. We're going to be the church. Read your Bible. The church cast out demons, they heal the sick, they raise the dead. He said, freely you receive, freely give. So it's time for us to be the church. And if you don't pray for demons, you cast them out. You don't pray for demons, you cast them out. You can pray till you blue in the very face. If it's psychological, physical, or spiritual, find out which one it is. And if it's a demon, cast it out. And you don't pet them and you don't try to coochie coo them, nothing like that. It ain't gonna work. So that was a good word today. Wasn't that a good word? Was it on live stream today? Yeah. So you can watch this again on what? Center Attraction Outreach? YouTube. Center Attraction YouTube? Okay, you can watch it again and listen to Pastor Reverend this whole week. CDs available?
Yes.
Yes, CDs available for $5. So if you want to listen to it in your car and get blessed by it. The whole weekend was awesome. So you don't want to miss any messages. So thank you, everybody. Everything was so wonderful. The food was great. Wasn't the food great? Thank you all our cooks and all everybody that worked. We'll make sure we do it officially right next week. It's just been a busy month, right? So I think we'll be with the SEALs next week. So what Sunday is this? Oh, it is second Sunday. Next week is third. So thank you, all the music was so wonderful this weekend. Thank you, the Lord. Thank you, Christ Community. Thank you, Happy Mercy Church. Thank you. Everything was beautiful today. You know what? I don't believe a lot of churches don't know how to move in synergy and connection and unity. They come and compete. I didn't feel no competition in here. We were just having a good time together. We just didn't have enough time, but we wanted to be here all night with the Jay and Owen, But, it was awesome. Thank you so much. This has been one of our best appreciations. I can say, spiritually speaking, it's been awesome. There's been good word every day. Go back and look on my stream. You're going to really get blessed. And so, thank you. We love you. And I feel we're finally growing up. Apostle, you 18 and I'm 18. We're 36 together. Amen. I think we got married when we was in our 20s. I think I was 22 and he was 23. We was just babies. Now we really know what it means to love one another. So I think that's what the sister said on Thursday. The Lord woke up and said, you don't know how to love, but I'm going to teach you how to love. God is teaching us how to love each other, how to show that you care. You got to communicate it, right? And I just want to be great like a Pastor Seals. There's some great pastors. There's some great pastors. They're awesome and amazing. See, y'all been around people that's fly by night, but when you be the true pastor, you don't really know it. He said, feed my sheep, and so I know they're doing that too. We're going to be with them next week. It's going to be great fellowship. So listen, and you're going to be there too, Pastor Reverend? All of us going to be together again next week. So listen, I can stay here all night. Thank you, Prophetess Audrey, and my sister, Prophetess Demona. I'm going to get you licensed, Demona. Don't worry, I'll help you. You're going to become that licensed prophetess. And you too, will help you too. We're going to do some classes together. And the Lord told me I was somewhere, the Lord prophesied, said, you're supposed to have a school of the prophets because you're concerned about training people. I wrote one of my books, it's called Will a Real Prophet Stand Up? And did I get that one to you, Pastor Reference, Will a Real Prophet Stand Up? Okay. So Pastor Reference is helping me get my stuff published. And so will a real prophet stand up? We can't tell a psychic from a prophet something wrong with the church. I'll leave that alone. Now we're going to make sure that you're trained. They can't tell. They're just looking at some kind of gift. They think it's God. You better have discernment in this day and hour. You better discern that, right, Brother Bill? Yes. And so we're going to train you up. Yes.
Our first anniversary will be Thursday at what time? 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Pastor will be one night Thursday and then Sunday.
Okay, so we'll make sure we let our people know. Let Tracy know. Tracy can text everybody.
Sunday we start to read Horizon.
Okay, great. So we'll all be there. I don't know how many we're bringing, but it's been great. Listen, tickets available this evening if you would like to go to the SEALs. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Okay. So I'm finished now. Can't think anything else except that this man of God is such a great man. He's been taking care of me when I was not feeling well and cooking. Terry, he's been making me some little anointed chicken sticks with french fries. They're really delicious, Terry.
Anyway, let me say that, right, we were young, actually we were 22, and the Lord called us in the ministry. I had a vision, I didn't know it, I thought it was quite strange, center of attraction, what is that? I didn't know what that was, 1976. And in 83, I asked the Lord, well, what will be the name of this ministry? He brought me right back to the vision that I had and said, call it Center of Attraction. Now, in the 80s, calling your church Center of Attraction, people saying, what?
Right.
What kind of name is that? But when we explained to them, because Jesus, he's the center of attraction. It's not us. It's not a religion or anything, a philosophy of man. It's Jesus. I didn't feel worthy. I really didn't. That God would call me to be a minister, first of all. Then call me to be a pastor. And then have my wife that she struggled with that a little bit, and I did. But the Spirit helped us come around and to be together. And I could be wrong, but we were the first official pastor and wife co-pastor team in Saginaw. It was unheard of before we started. Because we obeyed God to do what God wanted us to do 36 years ago. Let me finally say, I could not have done it without this dear lady right here. Amen. She is the queen of my soul. She is my right hand. And she balances me. We balance each other. And I don't see how a pastor can pastor without the wife being there as their structural piece, if you will. So I thank God for her. Amen. Doesn't she look lovely? She is. Let me say publicly, I love you. And I love you more today than before. Amen. I think we have the best members this side of heaven. Would you give Center of Attraction a hand? And these cooks and these praise team and Pastor Hayes, and it just goes on and on and on. I thank God that we are getting to be multicultural. That's part of our mission, is to make sure that we are multicultural. We thank God for that as well. Please stand to your feet. Amen. Thank you for spending this evening with us. And I call you blessed. I call you highly favored. I call you mightily anointed. I call you to your assignment. I call you right now that if there is a misalignment, that you are all aligned to your assignment. I decree and declare that over you now in the name of Jesus. And that which was out of order now is moving into order, causing you to move into your place, causing you to move into your position under the spout of God's glory, and so that heaven will come down and glory fill your soul. You will be better because of it, enriched because of it, edified, and God will get the glory out of your life. I declare it today, and I thank you, God, for what has been rendered these days. We thank you. We give you the praise and the glory in Jesus' name.